Happy Tuesday. It is a terrific California winter rainy Tuesday, and I love it. But I don't love that I didn't see this earlier. Don't mind me, surfers. Keep doing what y'all doing. I just swerved up behind some surfers. Hold on, it's about to go black. Boom. That's better. That is better. I'm looking like that's hella blurry. And I need my rear window to defrost, whatever. Surfers be out there, man. I love it. I love it. It's not my jam, but I love it. I love their dedication to it, their consistency. They be on it. Right now. All right. So this morning, I never pay attention to this. So that's the pier. Okay. I've never gone out there. I'm not a huge fan of being being around crowds. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm not a huge fan of like going to popular type of places, you know. Like when it's nice and bright and sunny, this area right here and that pier could be packed and all kind of, it's not my jam. It's not my jam. I'm truly a loner. I'm truly a loner. I just prefer not, you know, I don't like to overhear conversations that are being had or none of that. I just like to, you know, stay within my peaceful zone and converse with, you know, like minds that I have similar interest in. And that's typically right now my focus is tunnel vision on building my company, starting with the cleaning company, getting back to the media company, and then I'll be getting into real estate and other things like that. So, you know, I just don't like foolish conversations. And of course, it's just my opinion on the conversation being foolish, but I don't like to overhear it. So just stay in my lane, stay in my zone, and ball out within that. And that leads me to today's morning message, which really is, even in this message, I'm exposing my vulnerability. And it's something that I personally am very comfortable with. I've always been comfortable and okay with being vulnerable. And I've always been vulnerable. One way that I used to put it is that I give people ammunition to use against me. And it's not like, I guess I do it deliberately, but I don't look at it as ammunition. I look at it as info. I give people a handbook into me. You know, the reason I'm so okay with being vulnerable is going back to when I was 12 and I started becoming my own therapist. I know everything about me. I know myself inside and out. Me being vulnerable throughout my life, putting myself in vulnerable positions, for me, it was just me not being afraid of myself. I've never been scared to know anything about myself. So, with that, on the outside, like people seeing a person like that gives way for a lot of, making fun, a lot of criticism, condemnation, everything that comes from others' insecurities. And I also recognize that's what it is, others' insecurities. Because for me, my goal, I've spent my life, I've dedicated my life to knowing me. Just like Floyd Mayweather said he dedicated his life to boxing. You see it with a lot of people, what they dedicated their life to, because it's just one, that one thing that they do. And they've been doing that and been training and all their life. And me, I've been training to know me since I was 12. Just like most people that started, some path they started at young. And it's another thing that I used to think about, because how society really leads everyone to try to be the same. And when I think about it, really the only thing I've dedicated my life to, and the only thing that I've been passionate about, is knowing me. Because once I recognize that people will pick you apart and try to break you down, the things about you that you couldn't do anything about. I was just born this way with a gap. I was born this way, not great vision, wearing glasses since fucking kindergarten. People will pick you apart. I was born in brown skin. You know what I mean? And so, like, some people found some external form of escape, be it boxing, basketball, weight training, whatever it may be. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he decided at, what was he, like 16, 17, he wanted to be a bodybuilder and dedicated his life to that. I dedicated my life to knowing me, and with that comes huge amounts of vulnerability. And growing up, I still recognize that something that many people shy away from, being vulnerable. No one wants to be vulnerable. And I also recognize from talking to a lot of people, what people don't realize as they meet me in every phase of my life. People meet me and just think that you're just meeting me. This journey has been a long journey. I've talked to hundreds of thousands of people. I'm a conversationalist. I'm not a talker. I don't just like to talk about nonsense, but I'm a conversationalist. And my conversations has to be something of growth, of substance, something of meaning, of value. Not just, I've never been that one. I'd rather be silent than to just talk about bullshit or dumb shit or just nonsense. So I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people of all different ethnicities, all different genders, all different income classes, all different tax brackets. What people don't realize when they meet me, especially as I've gotten older in each phase of my life, I think people think that I'm more like them than I am, and I'm not. I'm just not. And because I've always chosen to be vulnerable, because I chose to know me, that's what I dedicated my life to. I've always known I was talented. And that goes back to when I was like 14 and I said, I want to be wealthy and be paid just to be me. I don't I can't make up some kind of gimmick or some kind of, shtick that is my thing. I am my thing. The fact that I believe in never giving up, that's my thing. The fact that I believe in knowing myself better than anyone can ever claim to think they possibly know me, in which no one can even claim that. For one, I don't stay still, and for two, people don't pay enough attention. People just don't pay enough attention. And this is why so many people tell other people, you're so worried about what people are thinking about you. People really don't care. And the ones that people are paying attention to, the one they're paying attention to don't care. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't matter. So my vulnerability has put a spotlight on me, in a sense, my whole life. Because the things about me have been so extreme. Like, I was extremely shy as a young girl, extremely shy. So that drew a lot of attention to me. Because it's like, oh, look at this pretty little girl over here, and she's so shy and quiet. But when I speak, it's something. It's definitely something. It's not just... And that something could be something that is controversial to people. But when they think about it, they're like, oh, she got a point. Right, but on the surface, it's controversial. So then that will either draw people to me or push them away. Either way, it puts a spotlight on me. Because here's this person with this unpopular, strong-ass opinion. Here's this person that is always quiet. She don't speak much, but when she do, damn. Why it's always got to be something controversial? Why it's always got to be something so extreme? So me being vulnerable, another thing that I've recognized over the last couple of decades is because, again, my vulnerability and my dedication to knowing me in every aspect, and then being extremely observant when it matters. I don't observe bullshit and nonsense and dumb shit. I just don't pay attention to it. Doesn't mean I don't see it. I just don't acknowledge it. But I'm extremely observant, extremely observant. And whereas I observed people's behaviors in similar scenarios, unlike regular people watchers that just like to watch people and then talk about, I observed. So one thing that I've observed over the last couple of decades, mainly the last 10 years, because the 10 years before that I was married. And it was I moved a bit differently because I was married. So, I couldn't, a lot of things that I was doing all my life, I had to minimize it because now, I got somebody at home waiting for me, and, I got somebody to, run things by before I just do what the fuck I want to do. But anyway, one thing I've recognized is because my vulnerability and my dedication to knowing me has led me to be such a strong and powerful force and being, it seems to be a magnet for those who aren't there yet. And again, this has been legit over the last 10 years. People are drawn to me that need some of what I have. And what I have is what I drew from within, right? And it's exhilarating in one sense and draining in the other. Because going back to me being my own therapist, that means I'm also the one that has to refill my own cup. And from somewhere, because of my belief, I do have an endless supply. And the reason I call my vulnerability my most human trait is because What most people don't see is that I am very, very lonely. And I do mean lonely. I love being alone. I love being a lone person. I love my solitude. The loneliness is nobody contacts me. Attracting people that have more than what I have so that I can be refilled and gain insight from people that are more insightful than I am. It is a feat. It is quite the challenge because people who are drawn to me are those that aren't even close to where I'm at. And I recognize why they're drawn to me. I recognize what it is within me that attracts them. I also recognize that when these people get a little bit closer to me and it's more personal and more intimate, I also recognize that I am a strong force and being for them. And that also is draining for me. And what not only being a clairvoyant and an empath naturally, like it's in my natal chart. And like I said, my first vision was when I was a very young girl, single digit ages, maybe 4 or 5. So I was built for this. And I also recognize that this is my purpose. Before I even knew this was my purpose, I recognized that. And I think that's also why I've never, even as a young teenager, had a problem being vulnerable, because I like who I am. I like each stage of who I'm becoming. And I know that I am something that this planet needs, and a lot of people on this planet needs. And throughout my life, the one thing that I'm very cognizant to not complain about is, and I mean it, I really mean it, I feel like it would be detrimental if I did, and that's why I don't complain about me not having what I am to others. Because I know that I've worked fucking hard on me to be me and to not allow the world to make me like them. And this work started at 12. And so many people run away from themselves that they find solace in me and being around me. And the only thing I try to express is I can't help you become you. I can offer advice, suggestions, but the fact that this really is a lifetime dedication, just like LeBron dedicated, just like Mayweather dedicated, Ali dedicated. They dedicated their lives from young to being great at what they're great at. I've dedicated my life from young to being great at being me, at being grateful, at being insightful, at being optimistic, at being in tune with the universe, at being centered with the universe, and knowing what I know when I know what I know. I've dedicated my life to that. So it looks easy at this point. It looks effortless at this point. What people don't know is what I have to do to replenish myself, especially when others come dip out of my cup. It takes a lot for me to replenish myself because I have to replenish myself. There's not a being around yet that is capable of refilling my cup because most people are so weak and make excuses for their weakness instead of just fucking digging in and saying, you know what, I'm weak as fuck in this area. Let me strengthen this area. Instead, they come dip into my cup for temporary satisfaction, for very temporary relief. And in most cases, the bourbon that's in my cup is way too strong for them to even drink undiluted. You know what I'm saying? They gotta dilute the shit. And even then, you're not getting it real. You're getting a diluted version because once I pour it to you raw, then you gotta dilute it just to digest it. Because why? You're not ready for this level yet. You're not ready for this level of information, whatever it may be. And that's because I've never been afraid to be vulnerable. I've never been afraid to be vulnerable. It's never been a weakness for me. Because I recognize that I am living in this human vessel. So I'm going to have quite a lot of human qualities. You know what I mean? I bleed, I hurt, I feel pain, I cry, tears, you know what I mean? Not gold flakes or some shit. I cry regular tears like everybody else. My nose runs. I get more sick than most people, you know what I mean? I have a weaker immune system than most people. I always have my whole life. I have a very, very, very extremely low white blood cell count. But I don't get sick very often. Not anymore. You know, so for me, even that vulnerability, a regular common cold used to have me damn near on my deathbed. Damn near on my deathbed. But for me, that was normal. That was just normal for me. It freaked my family out. Even as an adult, like I had an aunt that used to call me from St. Louis when I was in Minnesota when she would hear I was sick. Call me worried, like literally worried. Because she know when I get sick, oh, you just got a cold? Oh, somebody go look out for Shalonda. Somebody go check on her. Why? What? She got a cold. Oh, okay. People that have seen me, like in Arizona, for example. You know, the most recent people that don't know me, that have met me, see me sick. Motherfuckers be like, are you okay? Do I need to call? Do you need to go to the hospital? No, I just have a cold. You look like you're about to die. I know. And I can't even have all that conversation. You know, that is my normal. Most people's extreme is my normal. So I had to recognize a long time ago that, you know, I'm not because if I was, then I would be able to have something that could refill my cup, right? So I don't complain about that. I can't complain about that because I don't know what that complaint, I don't know how that would affect me. You know what I mean? I just realized that it is what it is. It is what it is. And I'm going to continue to pour into people that need me to pour into them. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to refill my cup in all the ways that I know how. I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue essentially to be me. And that comes with quite a bit of loneliness. That comes with quite a bit of knowing a lot of people. I know a lot of people. And I mean like they've had my number. I know they've been in my house. I know a lot of people. But I'm the last on everyone's call list, on everyone's social media interaction list. And that could be because, some things that people have always, oh, you're so strong. Oh, you're so strong. Oh, you just never seem to get bothered by anything. Just because I can't be broken, it doesn't mean that I don't embrace being embraced. Just because I cannot be broken doesn't mean that I don't like to be thought of without being needed. It doesn't mean that I don't like to be called or, have my social media content interacted with without being needed. I want to be able to, it would be nice, and it's just a thought. I can't imagine what this actually feels like, but just imagining, just thinking of what it could possibly feel like to have somebody, interact with me or contact me or be around me and not need to dip their cup into my barrel. It's got to be an amazing feeling. I don't know, but I would imagine that it is. It's like it's for me. It's like the equivalent of someone who only calls you when they need money. You know what I mean? Even if it's only once a year. Okay, so you only get a call from this person once a year, and that one time a year that they call you, they need money. I'd rather not call. I'd rather not, because it's not like you're calling me for me to check on me, to see how I'm doing, to talk to me. You're calling because you need something. You come around because you need something from Shalanda's cup, without giving a thought to the fact that, this person is really tenacious, and her fucking Instagram is the CEO of Never Giving Up. Like, and she's been sharing these messages since forever, because this is just me. I believe this is what people need. And it just is what it is. At the end of the day, it just is what it is. And this is my purpose. This is my journey. And I accept it graciously. I've always accepted it graciously. I mean, I think I was like 14 or 15 the first time one of my homies was like, you should be a therapist. You should be a counselor, is what she said. You should be a counselor. Word? No thanks. Why should I be a counselor? Well, you're a great listener and you give great advice. And this was like 2 or 3 years into me being my own therapist. Like, hey. Yeah, we do. We do. I'm just wondering if that is my purpose. And I think so. I think so. For me, being as extreme as I am, and for this being my life dedication, honestly, I feel like once I get into the circles that I need to be into, there I will find the barrel that I can dip my cup into. There I will find, those more powerful, more insightful, more into their journey of entrepreneurship, ownership, and even alignment and enlightenment. I feel like there I will find it. As long as I'm still here moving amongst the average, I'm going to keep attracting people that need to dip into my cup and that need to dilute this bourbon because it's just way too strong for them. Yeah. But again, this is my purpose, this is my journey, and I don't mind being vulnerable. I've never had a problem being vulnerable. I've had everything about me thrown back up in my face, and I can't be broken. I cannot be broken. Trust me, plenty of people have tried. Plenty of people have tried to break old Shalonda Elise, and I tell them I cannot. You can't break me. I cannot be. I cannot be broken. I cannot be broken. And that's just on period. Like that's just on how I'm built. That's just on the fact that I was born into this universe. I cannot be broken. So with that kind of thick roots, you know, there's no way that this big, thick oak tree can rely on, one of these little bitty trees right here. But it makes total sense that one of these little bitty thin trees right here is looking to the oak tree for shade and things like that. So it makes sense. Anyway, that was just my morning message. Again, it was more just about my own vulnerability and even just, I think there's power in vulnerability because what that is you knowing you. When you're not afraid to be vulnerable, it's because you know you. If you have a little thought in your mind or some little curiosity sparks up within you, explore that. And I've been sharing that with people for a long, long, long time. Explore that, both on and off social media. Any little inkling, explore it. Go down that rabbit hole. Go down the rabbit hole of you. Most people just exist and get older and don't even bother to learn who they are. Don't even bother to learn who you are after you've interacted with this person or after you've gotten out of this relationship. You're not the same as when you went in. And most people just go on with their life and do no observation of who they are now. What did you release during that time? And what did you gain during that time? So many people have been in just one long ass relationship with multiple people from the time they were 15. And what I mean is, they had the little boyfriend at 15, y'all broke up at 18, and maybe it was a series of back and forth breaking up, which I've never done that. Anyway, a series of that, on and off for 3 years, and uh, uh, maybe you're already cheating on, that person with the next person that you're going to be with for another 5 years, or you met that person, is just a linger, right? So now this relationship is ended and they're already in a relationship with this person. So there was no time of being single, there was no time of not single, but not being in a relationship because, they're all single if they're not married, but just of not being connected to another person, not having the identity of you're such and such as woman and such is your man, and then they're in their 20s and it's just, I know people who just don't let grass grow under their feet, and I just think it's so unhealthy. You have to know you, from moving out of your parents' house to in your own house, from moving from one place to another. Like, how much stock do you put into knowing who you are at every phase of your life? Because most people are so afraid of their own vulnerability, afraid to know themselves, afraid to dig deep and uncover. You got to clean the gutters. You have to clean the fucking gutters. The same way you got to clean your gutters of the home, you have to clean your internal gutters of your home, your bodily home. You live there. You live in here. You got to clean them gutters. And that is going to be vulnerable because now, you know, people are seeing you clean your gutters. People are seeing all the shit that's coming out. So what? The reward is so much greater. And again, this is why people are attracted to me. And I think because it comes off so smooth, that's why people just think it's easy and like I'm average. But I'm just going to end it here to say, you know, it would behoove you to take some time out to learn yourself, to love what you are learning about yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, I've shown my vulnerability so much over the years on my YouTube channel. I've shown my, and every, another part of my vulnerability is my accountability. I make deliberate moves because here is where I was trying to get to, and there is where I'm still trying to get to. And the last place I was at is where I was trying to get to. And the place before the, and it just goes on and on and on, you know? When I was, when I went to that women's shelter in Arizona after leaving the Airbnb, because my money ran out from there, that was a deliberate place for me to go because I was trying to get here, like right here, right now. So, I mean, you know how much shit people talk about me? You know how many negative comments are in the comments of some of my other videos? Hotel Honda. I mean, I don't care. I make deliberate decisions. I don't make excuses for where I'm at and, oh, this just happened. I make deliberate decisions. I look into my choices before I decide this is what it's going to be and this is what I'm going to do. And I stand on that. So I don't care about looking vulnerable to people and crying on my YouTube and saying that I'm lonely. And I don't care about any of that because where I am in my being is a place that most people can't even dream about being, much less imagine, much less actually be there. So all they can do is critique me because I'm doing something that most dare not to do. And that is know me and love me and accept me and vouch for me and look out for me and refill my own cup because there's no one else that is qualified to do it. And I do mean just that. There's nobody else at this point of right now, me sitting here, that is qualified in my life to refill my cup, to give me advice, to replenish me, to give me guidance, to offer me any kind of anything. Pretty much everyone in my life right now or here because they need something from me. And even that I'm okay with, because I still, with my vulnerability and me knowing me as well as I do, I still know how much to give whoever. Nobody's going to be able to break or drain me. I have a limitless supply of everything that I need, not only to give to myself, but to give to other people. So, although I'm not an amazing boxer, a great boxer, or anything like that, I'm not an exceptional athlete. I didn't dedicate my life to anything other than being me, because I knew that there's going to come a time that I'm going to be able to get paid extremely well just to be me. And that's all I ever wanted. It's all I ever wanted. And so now, even with all my clients, they all find inspiration in me. They all find light and see light when they look at me. They all are like, I'm just amazed by who and how you are. And this is my purpose. And this was my goal. And they pay me extremely well. Even the fact that I've started this cleaning business to grow into a company. Every client I have right now, I will be replacing myself. But the fact that they see me, they're going to trust whoever I bring in, because they know, with the training and everything and me being who I am, it's not going to be any type of mediocre. They're not going to feel they're going to, because only I'm me. So, yes, there's going to be some differences and some changes. But I just knew at 14, God damn it, I don't need a gimmick. I don't need anything external. Why can't I just be wealthy just to be me? My goal was never money. And this is why, in the back of my mind, I always thought maybe something's wrong with me, because money was, I couldn't be motivated by money. My only motivation was me. When I got in the group with Derek Grace, and someone, asked, they're going around asking all of us, what's your why? What's your why? And I said, I know this is going to be unpopular, but why? My why is me, because I'm not like other people. I won't do the most for somebody else than I'll do for me. I have been fighting, kicking, and screaming for me my whole life. And I don't have that kind of tenacity for anyone other than me. And I don't care how that sounds. I feel like everybody needs to be their own motherfucking fighter, coach, cheerleader, best friend, lover, everything, because you're you. And only you know what you need, so nobody could relate to that, because, it's their kids and everybody else external. And I just can't. I can't. It's always been me. My why has always been me. So everything else has always just been a come and go. But I'm always going to go back into, okay, pull away from the world and let's figure out who I am now. Let's tap into who I am now. And once I get to, I'm once I have identified who I am and where I am at that moment, then I put myself back out there. But for me, that retreat has always been to figure out me. And I do so much. One of my uh, girlfriends from beauty school, who also I was her hairstylist, because I dealt with the hair that grows from the scalp. And she's an amazing weavologist. Um, but I remember her saying, because I also did her makeup, she came, I did her makeup for a shoot, and the guy that was her photographer, we all knew each other. And he was like, damn, you do such and such too. I forgot what it was. And I just remember her saying, Shalonda do everything. And that's true. Shalonda do everything because none of that I do is an extension of my why. I do everything because at one point when I was younger, I had something sparked in me. So I went down the rabbit hole of, let's see. So that's why I do everything. But nothing that I do is new. First time I got paid to clean somebody's house, I was 19. I was in my early 20s when I started caring for autistic children and adults. So it was effortless for me to care for Miss Pam and to care for elderly. That's a part of who I am. I watch my family do it. In my family, we die at home. In my family, we take care of one another till death in our own home. So that for me is just normal. It's just normal for me to take care of elderly because some fucking body got to. Because I see that a lot of people, that's not their normal family. My normal family, everybody in my family has died at home, being taken care of by all of us. That's just how it is. Except for my grandmother's sister, who only had one kid, and they put her in a nursing home, and she died in a nursing home. Of my grandmother and my aunts and uncles and all of that, they all died at home, and we all cared for them. So it's just me again. I do everything because my why has been knowing me. My dedication in life has been to know me. And as it turns out, I like a lot of shit and I'm great at a lot of shit. So I do a lot of shit. That's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to go. I really appreciate you for tuning in on this morning's message. And I am still fasting. I have something very special that I will be revealing next year. And once you see it, you'll see how it relates to this particular topic of me being my own everything and me being vulnerable and me just supporting and loving and caring for me since 12 years old. So I hope everyone has a terrific Tuesday. I love you all. And I really, really, really hope the best for you. And I really want you to just love yourself, regardless of who the fuck does it. Peace.